A store manager reports a theft. Something of great value has been stolen from his store, and one of his fellow managers committed the crime. Match wits with Rob McCool, as well as Ron McCoy, to see if you can solve this Madcap mystery. Rob McCool's Madcap Mysteries, an RM production. Starring Ron McCoy as Rob McCool. Tonight's episode, The Case of the Pilfering Partner.
Rob McCool here on the scene of a robbery. One of 4 managers has called my good friend and inspector, Will Pierce, to report that there's been a robbery. Liberty Police Headquarters? Is that who I'm speaking with? Yes, I have been robbed. And he's a Frenchman. He was kind of hard to understand, and he fainted after reporting this robbery, and I am on the scene at this department store ready to investigate. I just received word that Inspector Will Pierce is already in the office at the Ross store, so I'm heading back there. Where I see a man who must be Jean-Luc Montbleu with his head down on his desk. Has he fainted?
Hi, Rob. You see before you Jean-Luc Montbleu. He seems to have fainted. I called 911.
Did Mr. Montbleu elaborate on what had been stolen from his store?
He fainted before he could tell me. I will ask him again.
It won't hurt to try.
Mr. Montbleu, wake up and tell us what was stolen from your store.
I hear something. He's saying something. Un-oof. Un-oof.
Un-oof. Interesting. Apparently enough was stolen from the store to warrant his making the call to the police.
While we wait for the ambulance to come, let's look around. You know, this store is famous for its eclectic blend of merchandise.
I will wait in here with Mr. Montbleu. Feel free to look around the store, Rob.
Thank you, Will. I'll look around and see what kinds of things I can see. And as I made my way around the store, I found gold-headed canes, antique dolls, jeweled eggs, diamond cufflinks, silver medallions, and ruby rings. The cufflinks and rings are in labeled boxes, and the rest are loose on the counters. In my opinion, that's pretty poor security.
Hi again, Rob. I have checked the outer office of the store. Just a table and file cabinets there. The other inner offices are locked. Let's wait for the medics and the other managers to show up.
Sounds like a good plan to me, Will. Later that morning, at 8:30, Jean-Luc Montbleu is whisked away by the EMTs. About 15 minutes later, another of the managers arrived. Hello, sir. You are Craig Williams, one of the managers of this store?
Yes, I am Craig Williams.
Hi, I'm Rob McCool. I'm investigating this robbery along with Will Pierce, who is an inspector with the police force. So, can you tell me specifically what was taken from Jean-Luc Montbleu's office?
I don't know what was taken. I will have to unlock Mr. Montbleu's office to check. Also, I will check my office as well and let you know.
Well, Mr. Williams, go on back to your office and check to see if anything is missing, and then we'll touch base. I'm going to go outside and scout around to see if I can find any clues there. Heading outside, I do indeed look for clues to the robbery and find none. It also gives me the opportunity to do some serious thinking about what has happened with this robbery in this store. Yes, I have some thinking to do about who that robber is and what it is that that robber stole. Now, each of these managers has a personal collection of items which match the items that are sold in this department store, so I know one of them is the thief, the one who pilfered those items. But which is it? Back inside the store, I head back to the office area where I find Craig Williams in his office. Hello again, Mr. Williams. Were you able to find anything missing in Mr. Montblue's office or in your own office?
I don't think so. I counted the boxes and checked the old books, jeweled eggs, and cufflink sets in the glass cabinets in Jean-Luc's office. Also, my share of the inventory is here as well as my own collection.
Mr. Montbleu implied that the theft occurred last night. Mr. Williams, can you tell me where you were?
I got an early supper at Culver's. Then I watched the prices right at night before turning in.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Will, we need to track down the other two managers of this store and talk to them. One of them, Ivy Dano, the other, Jacob Burton, to see what they know about this robbery. Hello, Miss Dano. I'm Rob McCool. I'm investigating this robbery. Can you tell if anything is missing from Jean-Luc Montblue's office?
Hi, Mr. McCool. Only Jean-Luc would be able to tell if anything was missing from his office. His set of canes did look a little thin, though. Nothing seems to be missing in here. My rare dolls and sets of ruby rings seem to be intact.
And, Miss Dano, where were you last night?
My husband and I had spaghetti for dinner before my mom came over for an hour-long visit. Then I clipped my toenails before going to bed.
Thank you, Miss Dano. I still need to talk to the other manager of the store, Jacob Burton, and I believe he's in his office now. And as I headed toward Jacob Burton's office, I encountered Will Pierce along the way.
Hi, Rob. Did you learn anything valuable by talking to Ivy Dano?
Yes, Will. I do believe the pieces are beginning to fall into place. However, I need to speak to Jacob Burton first.
Okay. While you are talking to him, I will head to the front of the store to check for fingerprints.
Will do, Will. And in the office of Jacob Burton, that fourth manager.
No, Mr. McCool, I couldn't tell you what was taken from Montblue's office. Craig and Ivy will tell you that only he kept inventory of his stuff. All of my things, including my gold-headed canes and silver medallions, are all here.
Where were you last night, Mr. Burton?
I went to a Minecraft movie at B&B Theater in Liberty with my 2 young sons. We then shot through the McDonald's drive-thru afterwards. We ate our food at home and went to bed. I did not see anyone I knew at the movie theater.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. I need to meet with a man named Will Pierce outside. He is a police inspector, and we need to talk about the clues and who actually committed this robbery. Again, thank you. Outside, Will Pierce was nowhere to be found. I surmised that he had gone around to the back entrance to check for fingerprints on the back door. Once he returned, we met at the front entrance of this department store so that I could discuss with him whom I believed was the person who committed the robbery and what was stolen.
Rob, Montbleu is in a coma. He has relatives near Paris who are being notified. Apparently, we still don't know what was stolen.
Well, that's true. But we know that it was probably one of the 4 managers. They all had collections They all had keys to each other's offices, and I wouldn't put it past any one of them to steal from one of the other partners in order to augment their collections.
I agree. And we saw what each one collects, which makes it all the more frustrating not to know what was taken.
Wait a minute. I think I know what was stolen and who our prime suspect is. So, how do I know what was pilfered, and how do I know who pilfered it? Be thinking about that. But in the meantime, be sure you click on like, be sure you click on subscribe, and on the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. And now, more of Rob McCool's Madcap Mysteries. So, we've got enough clues now to solve this mystery. Who was it who pilfered some items from this department store? What were those items? And who was the one who pilfered it? Well, we have 4 suspects. One of those suspects is the one who committed this robbery.
So, Rob, how do you know what was stolen? And who was the one who stole it?
In high school, I had a wonderful French teacher named Mrs. Hutt, and she used to teach us using puns. She said, in England, people eat 2 eggs for breakfast, but in France, they eat un œuf, 1 egg.
Rob, what are you talking about?
Don't you see? When Montbleu came groggily out of his faint, he reverted to his natural French. When you asked him what was stolen, he didn't say enough. He said un œuf, 1 egg. And who has a collection of jeweled eggs? Craig Williams, of course. And after properly dazzling Inspector Will Pierce with my brilliant deduction, I was off and into my next adventure. This Madcap mystery is solved, but be sure to join me in the next episode of Rob McCool's Madcap Mysteries. A college desperately in need of an endowment. An endowment coming via a will. Unfortunately, chicanery is afoot. It's in the next episode entitled The Case of the Forged Will. Yes, that's next on Rob McCool's Madcap Mysteries.